Welcome to Whiskey and Whiskers Podcast, coming at you live out of Bassham Studios. I'm your host, Chop.
And Blake. We got a little bit of a different show today. It's going to be fun. Just two of us. I think Matt honestly could have made it, but we got together sooner, and it's good to have you back on the show.
Yeah, for sure. It's been a minute.
Chris and Gator were both questionable this week anyway, so it was like, well, I could record a show tonight with Chop, or I could record a show tomorrow with Matt. Either way, it's just two of us, so let's see how this goes. Maybe tomorrow I'll record a show with Matt, and
I'll duke it out.
If it's better, then I'll air that.
Yeah. Word. I mean, you said Gator and Chris were questionable this week. Have they been not questionable, like, ever?
They've always been questionable.
Okay.
It's questionable week to week.
Yeah.
It's never not questionable.
Yeah.
And I guess since we're on the topic, that you haven't been on the show for a while, I wonder why.
Mix of things, really. So, one, I mean, like, historically, and it's always been this way, I'm, like, travel for work.
Mm-hmm.
And so, mix of being gone. And then also, sidebar from that, like, part of the reason I wasn't at the show, even when I was in town, which has been hit or miss, was I got sober 5 months ago. Today, actually.
Nice.
So, haven't been drinking and haven't been in town a lot either.
Also, tell me there's not at least a part of you that's like, every single week, it's Wednesday, and we're trying to figure out what fucking day we're supposed to record, and nobody is ever on the same page, ever. So it's like, all right, we're going to record tonight, or we're going to record Thursday? And then someone's like, I can only record Friday. And someone else is like, I can't. Friday's the only day I can't record. Mm-hmm. And it's like, all right, do you want to get together and watch the fights and record this weekend? And then someone's like, oh, I got this other thing to do. And it's just bullshit every single week.
For sure.
And it's like, not, I'm not blaming anybody, by the way. It's just like,
it's just hard to coordinate people. Right. But, no, so I'm still on the group chat and everything, and so I see all that coming through. And my main contribution to try and sort all that shit out is that I remind everybody we record on Miraculous. You know,
I don't even know when Miraculous is, if I'm being honest. What day is Miraculous? You could lie to me and I wouldn't even know.
It's the day that we record, dude.
Oh, okay. So it moves around. It's a moving target.
Yeah.
I got you.
So, like, literally, it translates to Wednesday. But, like, for a long time, we were recording Wednesday, and then, like, at some point, I think I made the joke about it's Miraculous. And then the next week, I was like, oh, Miraculous? And then we were like, no, it's Thursday. And I was like, all right, still Miraculous.
Because nobody knows.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm dumb as fuck. I tried to do the what's the app that teaches you Spanish? Duolingo, yeah. I was trying to do Duolingo, and I'll get on it and I'll do it for like 2 or 3 days, and it'll be like, you're doing great. Mm-hmm. And then I just don't do it for like a week.
Dude, yeah. Like, so I was doing it for a while, and I got to, it has the like hot streaks or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was dragging out some pretty good hot streaks. Like, I had ones that were like, a month or so, right?
Oh, shit. I think I have like 7 days. My longest.
I think my longest one was like 28 days, 29 days, something like that. But the problem is, like, I'm really good about, like, I don't want to lose my streak. And, like I even, here, let me show you this great radio. The home screen on my phone has, like, a widget that, like, when I'm on a hot streak, it'll tell how many days and stuff. So I'm really good about, like, okay, I got to keep my streak going or whatever. But then, like, I'll fuck it off one day, and then it's like,
oh, why even try
0 day streak, you fucking... and then it's like, well, I already fucked that up, so I'm not going to do my shit today. And then I don't do it for like 6 months.
That's the flip side of the art. Like, I feel like the programmers need to think that out a little more, you know? Because yes, they can get you to stay with it, perhaps. Like, that might be part of the human condition, right? If you're constantly reminded that you're doing well, then, you get in a feedback loop of positivity. But also, as soon as that fails, you're like, dude, I don't want to start over. Like, I'll just quit.
They need to, like, instead of showing where your streak is or whatever, they need to put messages in Spanish. It's like, you fucking sack of shit. You don't even know what I'm saying, do you? And then you're like, God damn it.
Dude, it does talk shit to you, though. It does talk shit to you.
Mm-hmm. But if it was, like, leaving mad shit messages on your fucking home screen every day, and you're like, what the fuck is this even saying? And then you, like, go Google it, and it's talking mad shit. And you're just like, damn, what the fuck?
What about, like, public shame? What if it just hit everybody in your contacts? It's like, this piece of shit didn't do his Duolingo today.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Well, so, like, a part of that, too, is they have the, like, leagues, and they have the, like, you can add friends and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And I think it's probably a lot more successful if you do it that way, because there's bullshit like that, where it's like, okay, we paired you up with this friend this week, your goal collectively is to, do this many lessons between the two of you. And then like your friend is like, motherfucker, we're supposed to do 20 lessons and I've done 18 of them,
You start pulling your weight around here.
Yeah. So maybe that's like how they thought it out, but like they didn't think about the fact that nobody has any fucking friends,
Yeah, that's true. I don't have any.
Yeah. So
I mean, you're a figment of my imagination.
yeah, at least I'm a
Figment?
thorough one,
What is a figment? No, outside of your imagination, what the fuck is a figment?
It sounds like a really fucking shitty Girl Scout cookie.
A figment?
Yeah. It's like a Fig Newton, but the outside's like all fucking Thin Mint crunch,
I need to write down figment. No, for real. Can you have like a figment of a Pop-Tart?
I don't know. What is something that you can have a figment of besides your imagination?
Yeah.
Can you have a figment of a pie? Like a fraction of a pie, a slice?
I don't even know if it's a fraction or a piece of. I think it might be. Let's think about it. Figment. It's like a fixture, but it's make believe.
Okay.
It's like a thing, like a No,
No.
no, not at all.
I think that's a figment of your imagination, dude.
What are we drinking today?
I've got O'Doul's Golden, non-alcoholic brew, contains less than 0.5% alcohol by volume.
Dude, that's weird.
Why?
Like, why drink beer if you're not even gonna get drunk?
So I like to taste beer.
That's weird.
Yeah. But I think most people do it because it's like a social thing, right?
Yeah, I guess it's probably better than drinking Dr. Peppers.
Yeah. It also like probably draws less attention, Like if you were in a large group of people that were all drinking, like if you just had a beer that was non-alcoholic, they'd probably not question that versus like if you had a fucking Arizona tea or something.
Does that bother you? If
What?
someone's like, "Hey, why aren't you drinking?"
No.
What's your response? It depends on the context.
Yeah, it depends on the context. Typically, it'll be something like, I don't drink anymore. And usually those words in a line is enough for people to be like, oh, I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But there's definitely shitbags out there.
Yeah, if they continue
Like
to
me.
grill you, like,
You're not even drinking, pussy.
yeah, if they continue to grill you, like, I'll say something like, I've drank more than my fair share.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if they're really fucking being a prick about it, then at that point it's just like, well, fuck you, dude.
Yeah, I feel like that isn't the answer enough. Like, that should be the answer more often.
Yeah.
Yeah,
really, like, go fuck yourself. It's none of your business. Should be, like, the default answer.
What's the Chinese proverb?
No.
It's okay. So there's an old man and he's sitting in his garden and he's planting dates, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a date tree takes 100 years before it bears fruit.
Yeah.
And so the old man's out there planting dates, and this kid walks up and he's like, "Hey, old man, why do you plant trees for which you'll never get to partake in the fruit?" And the old man kindly looks at him and goes, "Eat a fat dick. It's my garden. I'll plant whatever the fuck I want."
Yeah. Yeah. That's the way it should be, man.
I don't have to explain myself to you. Fuck off.
Yeah. So, speaking of dates and, food, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I'm making some gumbo right now, actively.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit confused as to what
My tactics are.
what figmented this into happening.
Yeah.
I'm just going to start using Figment in random places, see where it fits.
All right. No, okay, so here is my thought process. One, gumbo's just good, right? So I wanted some gumbo. Shit stank. But the other thing was, all right, like most people, like, okay, if you look at like a culinary, like a chef, right?
Like a culinary chef?
Yeah.
Okay. Follow.
Most chefs have like something that they're really fucking good at, right? Like a niche that they're like, they can't be beat in that particular area, right? Like it
Like
might
fish
be
sticks?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Could be like Italian food. It could be like, whatever. It doesn't matter, right? But they usually have something that is like nobody can fuck with me on this. Like, okay, maybe that guy can teach me how to make Italian food, but he can't teach me how to make Mexican food. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right. So everybody in our state wants barbecue to be their thing.
Uh-huh.
Like every man inside of the state of Texas is like, oh, I can cook a brisket better than you, fuckhead.
And almost everybody thinks they can cook a brisket, including me.
Mm.
And I would contend that very, very few can,
yeah.
including me.
Yeah. Like of all the people in Texas, I would say like
11,
yeah.
maybe 14.
Yeah.
There might be 14 motherfuckers.
There's probably like sub 20 that can really actually cook a brisket well, And then there's probably like a couple hundred that are like try my brisket, and you're like, damn, actually, yeah, that didn't suck, you know?
Uh-huh.
And then everybody else, you try their brisket, and you're like, oh, yeah, that's good, man.
It's got good flavor. That's the worst insult that I've heard about my own brisket.
Mm-hmm.
It's got good flavor. Well, that means it's shit.
Yeah.
Right?
Because that's not really what you're looking for. So anyway, everybody in the state wants to be barbecue. So I decided I wanted to do Cajun food, because Cajun food is fucking awesome. Like,
It's a lot of work, though.
it is, but it's one of my favorite things to eat, right?
I agree.
And it's not one
It
of
is one of your favorite things.
Mm-hmm. And it's not the same thing that, I mean, like our neighbors are like, that's what they do, you know, those are the motherfuckers. But inside of Texas, I feel like, and I'm not trying to be a fucking chef, right? I'm not trying to be the expert in fucking Louisiana cuisine, you know?
You just want to make gumbo well.
I want to make gumbo well, and I want to do like other Cajun shit too. Like I want to start fucking around with like blackened shit and
Well, lots of people do crawfish, and it's kind of starting to become like brisket insofar as like everybody thinks, you know, they can figment crawfish.
yeah,
And the fact of the matter is they can't. They're like, again, there's like, you know, 14 motherfuckers that are really good at crawfish. And the rest, it's like, yeah, you boiled some crawfish and poured some shit in there.
yeah.
But, you know, I'm going to eat it. It's good.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know.
I guess what I'm saying is you should stay away from crawfish.
Yeah.
It's overplayed.
Well, and like it's got its place, but okay. So I think the thing that you're saying is that everybody thinks that crawfish equals Cajun food, and that's not the same thing.
Right.
Like crawfish has its place in Cajun food, the same way that like barbecue and you know fucking brisket has its place in.
So you want to do like turtle soup?
Sure. No, like I don't know, like gumbo. I want to do blackened, like blackened fish, blackened gator would be cool. Stuff like that. I don't know. Fuck it. Any of it. I just want like if you know, even on like a very basic level, if somebody knows how to cook, right? Like they still have something they typically stick to, you know, like a lot of people, it's like pasta. I can make a good fucking spaghetti or, you know what I mean? Like they pick something and they're like, I know how to make that. If people are coming over, I can knock that out of the park. I'm
going to sound dumb as fuck, but like Jamaica and those islands, what are those islands called?
Isn't that the Caribbean? Carabron.
Well, okay. What about like Haiti?
I don't know anything about Haiti. I couldn't even tell you like
it's a figment of the world.
Sure.
Well, okay. So I think Cajun food is like French food, but then you mix in all of that like Haitian, Jamaican influence, like spices on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot of butter. It's a lot of fish because it's right there. It's New Orleans, right? And
they're basically underwater, like 90% of the time.
Yeah, they're fish, dude.
Yeah,
they live underwater.
That's actually the lost city of Atlantis.
Yeah, that could work. Yeah, that makes sense. That's why you can't understand them because they're so much more sophisticated.
Yeah, well, that and they've been living under the sea forever.
Yeah, dude. I don't know what two like figments had to collide to get the clash of cultures that is Cajun food.
I'm pretty confident French is one of them.
But yeah, French is one of them because they all speak French, but a fucked up version of French.
Yeah,
but it's so awesome. I love Cajun food.
Yeah, I don't know,
because a lot of food now, if it's either really salty, really sweet, or just bland as fuck and shit, right? And Cajun is none of that. Or well, it can be salty sometimes, but it's for the most part, it's none of that.
Right. Well, and I don't know. Just going back to like the whole thing, like if you go over to somebody's house in Texas, they're probably going to either barbecue, they might cook Mexican food, or if it's like their wife cooked, like it might be, you know, Italian food or, you know, something like that, right? But like there's not a whole lot of people that you go over to their house and they're like, yeah, I got some fucking
boudin
and some blackened salmon. And you're like, oh, fuck.
I think I might have told this story on the show one time, but I'm going to tell it again. I deal with trucks, like 18-wheelers a lot in my line of work. And I was talking to this truck driver one time, and he was like, yeah, I'm from Georgia, but I just came through Louisiana, and I'm originally from Louisiana, but I live in Georgia now. Mm-hmm. And he was like, I got this spot where I buy boudin, and it's that like there is no better boudin. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I love boudin, you know, whatever. And he was like, you want to try some? And I'm like, well, fuck yeah, I want to try some. I wasn't going to ask, you know?
Yeah.
But the best boudin I ever had was out of an 18-wheeler.
Yeah.
And he was like, here, try this. And I was like, no shit. This guy knows what the fuck.
Yo.
And he made it a point. He was excited that he got to drive to Austin, and then he was going to go back with boudin to take back to his family.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just making it a personal vendetta. You know what I mean? Like, I want to cook something that not everybody the fuck around me cooks, you know? And it's just like it slaps. It's good shit. Why not?
I can dig it. I make a better gumbo than you do.
Yeah.
But but I can show you how, and then you can perfect it because I'm not perfect.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think
I think
that's the beauty of gumbo is you can't perfect it. It's like brisket or crawfish insofar as like.
Well, what I was going to equate it to is like chili because everybody has their own fucking chili recipe.
Okay, yeah.
You know
No,
what I
chili's
mean?
even better. Like that's a closer analogy.
Yeah. Like everybody has their own chili recipe. Everybody does it different, and nobody's is like internet like right per se.
And one person might be
Objectively-
like, "That's the best chili I've ever had," and someone else is like, "That's shit."
Yeah. So like and we're talking about gumbo specifically, not just Cajun food as a whole.
Yeah.
Gumbo is very like you got some license with it, you know.
Yeah, dude, I like fucked up gumbo.
Yeah.
Like I want put fucking oysters and like okra, dude.
Dude, okay, I wanted to put okra in the gumbo today, and I couldn't find any because I went to fucking Randall's.
And it
not
turns
H-E-B.
it to snot. Like it does. But I don't care. That shit's good.
Mm-hmm. Okra slaps, dude.
All the little seeds that are like soft and delicious.
I wanted okra, but I couldn't find any. So
yeah, dude, I'm down to put the nasty shit in it. Put fucking whole crawfish and oysters.
oh yeah, dude.
Whatever you Figment.
One of the craziest fucking meals I ever had. I was working at a Thai restaurant, and it was like to be clear, the owners and like all the recipes and shit were like the people were from Thailand, but they still had like Mexican chefs in the back, you know, line cooks and stuff. And so I was waiting tables there, and I finished up I normally worked lunch, but I worked a night shift for whatever the fuck reason. And so I was like doing all my side work at the end and, you know, mopping, closing down the store. And the Mexican dudes in the back, like, just started cooking up some shit, you know? And I think they'd been cooking it all day, but it wasn't Thai food, you know? It's just some shit. And, dude, it looked absolutely, like, just fucked. Like, royally fucked. It was like a red soup that had like a chicken carcass with no meat, you know, just the bones that had been boiling in it for like the whole day. And when you looked at it after it, like they turned the heat off and stuff, there was like the layer of shit at the top, you know, like a layer of oil. And it was just really fucked up, right? But they threw a bunch of other shit in it other than the chicken carcass and the oil. But it was just like random shit, like scrap shit from the kitchen. And dude, it was dank.
Was it a soup?
Yeah, it was soup.
But so it was thin, not like not thick.
Yeah. Well, no, like spoon kind of, you know, like it was a soup for sure.
But it wasn't like a stew, I guess.
No, I would say more soup than stew.
Okay.
But it was super oily, and it had like even the bowl that I got still had like fucked up, you know, like chicken bones and shit in it. But you just like pick around that. And dude, it was super dank. That's
where some of the best food comes from, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're like, hey, look, all we have is shit ingredients. How do we make this awesome? And it's like, dude, you made it awesome. Congratulations.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's sell it.
So I think I might have told this story on the show before, but the first time I ever went to New Orleans, I was like, I think I was 19 maybe. And I was like 18 or 19. I went for Mardi Gras. It was a whole other story there. But I got back from Mardi Gras and I woke up wherever the fuck I was and was like, I thought I was dying, kind of. And
that's standard operating procedure after you leave Mardi Gras.
For sure. And so I went to the people who were staying with. I woke up and was like, oh, fuck, and like started my apology, you know? And they're like, no, like it's Mardi Gras, it's, you know, it's what the fuck it is. And I was like, all right, word. So we're cool? And they're like, yeah. And they're like, all right, let's go get you some food. And I was like, hell yeah, I fucking need that, you know? And so they took me across the street to this, like, it was like a gas station, basically. Like, all in between gas station and grocery store. Like, they had more than you would expect at a gas station, but not
H-E-B.
H-E-B, yeah. But they had a line on the back end that was like a buffet line, and you go through, and I think it was separate, kind of like Sharks is up here or whatever, you know? Like, I think the buffet line was owned separately than the store, just share space.
Yeah.
And I went back there, and they were like, all right, you know, grab a plate, and they're moving it down the line behind the glass or whatever, and you just tell them, you point at shit, and they put it on the plate, you know? So you pick a base, which my base was like mashed potatoes, right?
Oh, that's fucked up.
And then, so they like put a layer of mashed potatoes on the plate, and then you pick out like just
a color.
Yeah.
Some of the yellow.
Some shit, and then some of it was like easy to pick. Like there was like side of green beans, some fried okra, shit that you could tell what it was.
Peach cobbler.
Yeah, and then they were like, "All right, pick a meat," and I was like, "I don't know, that one looks good." And so she like scooped up a big spoonful, and it's
a spoon.
Yeah, and it's just meat like covered in some kind of gravy, And she dumped that all on top of the mashed potatoes, and I was like, "Whatever, it looks dank, it's probably good." Turns out it was turkey neck, and just.
And it was dank?
And it was gravy, and it was dank. Yeah. I still swear up and down to this day that was the best meal I've ever eaten in my life. And I don't know if it was because I was like the most hungover that you can be. But it was probably a mixture of both. I think it was super dank food.
Yeah. I wish we had more grocery stores like that. Because around here, everything is like so much. It's so... Like, it'd be nice to just go and get some food that the lady behind the counter cooked, right? And not in a... Not necessarily in a restaurant kind of way, but in like you go to Randall's and they're like, "Hey, look, we made sushi, we made some fried chicken, and you can buy it from the counter and walk out while you get your grocery." You go to the meat market and they're like, "Yeah, we got barbacoa and we have chorizo or something,"
Yeah.
But as white people, we don't do that shit. Like our grocery store is like we want it bigger and we want it broader. Like like HEB is a testament to man's hubris. It's a fucking Tower of Babel that is pretty cool, but also like way too much. It's insane, you know? And yeah, I like going to the Fiesta Mart and just being like, look, they've got fucking peppers and they're not perfect like every pepper at HEB, but they're also real, I'm pretty sure they're real.
Yeah.
There's like a pig head over there, so I'm pretty sure that pork came from that pig,
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. That's kind of a fucked up thing.
What's that?
Like when you're... Like I've been to a butcher before and bought meat. And
dude, we had a butcher when I was a kid growing up in a small town, the Hill Country. It was called Comfort. They had a legit butcher shop, like a meat market.
Yeah.
And there's a big fat guy with like a apron on, and it was a butcher shop.
Mm-hmm. So and
it's super cold, like super cold.
Oh yeah. So for a little while I was like, I bought a tattoo machine and I was like trying to learn how to fuck with that, right? And so they like, if you look online, the way that they tell you how to practice is you can buy like fake skin things on Amazon, but they're kind of whatever. But they tell you the closest that you can get to just like actually tattooing something is to get pig skin. And so I went to a butcher, and it was like this Mexican meat mart that was off of Lamar, and I had to pull up my Duolingo app and figure out what the fuck was going on. But eventually I was like, yo, I need this, like I need the pigskin. And they're like, okay, cool. And I bought like 20 pounds for like $4 or something. And then I would keep it in the freezer and I would de-thaw it. And
that's super weird.
Yeah. Tattoo something on it and then I'd keep the rest frozen.
Yeah, is that just code for like a dead hooker?
Probably, yeah. I mean, it was off Lamar, so,
It's cheaper anyway.
Yeah. So anyway, that was kind of fucked up.
So you tattooed pigskins?
Yeah. Like for a while.
Do you make lamps and stuff out of them?
Make a couch. That would be kind of...
You can make little like voodoo dolls. That'd be cool.
It would be pretty fly to like have boots that you tattooed or something.
No, that'd be super weird. That'd be the weirdest thing ever.
I don't know. I think it would be fly.
Because you'd be like, no, don't worry, it's pigskin. And they'd be like, I don't know, man. That's fucking weird, dude.
Why do you have a tattooed person on your feet? Yeah. I mean, I could see where that could get misconstrued. I could see a Figmint where...
happening?
Yeah. So, speaking of looking fly, though, I went to the barbershop yesterday.
No, they didn't do a very good job.
Damn. It's unfortunate. No, all right. So, I was asking a friend of mine if he goes to the barbershop or not. And he said he doesn't. I was like, do you go to like fucking Dollar Cut or something? Like that kind of bullshit? Or do you go to like a barber? And he was like, nah, I go to Sport Clips or something,
Yeah.
And I was like, you should go to a barber. It's fucking dope. And he was like, well, I get my hair cut too often. He is military, so like, he's got to keep his shit tight or whatever.
That and yeah, if you're getting that kind of a haircut, it doesn't take a barber, Like we're gonna run clippers through it.
Yeah. But I was like, well, at least once you should still go, right?
Yeah.
Because it is an experience. And I was trying to describe it to him, but I was thinking about it, dude, there's very little that can unfuck a day like going to the barber. At least to me. Like I was fucking really pissed off yesterday just like existing, And
damn it. That's unfortunate.
Yeah. And dude,
I didn't ask for this.
I went to the barbershop and they like the haircut, whatever, like that part's fine. But then they like straight razor shave your neck and fucking throw the like hot towel that smells like mint on your face and like give you the whole treatment, you know?
Like Figmint?
Yeah.
Figmint barbershop towels?
Yeah. And dude, I walked out of there feeling like a king, the way it should be. And so I was trying to explain to my buddy, like just once, you know, like I'll take you just once. You need to go to a barbershop and see like what the fuck is up, you know?
Yeah, the straight razor thing is kind of wild. I've been straight razored a few times, and at least the first time it takes a little bit of trust, I guess. Because dude, they're straight up putting a razor in your neck, you know. And I don't think that the guy at the fucking barbershop is gonna like
assassinate you,
Sweeney Todd me, but you know,
you never know.
He might sneeze. You know.
Yeah.
But after I don't know, after 5 or 6, you're like, whatever, fucking go.
Yeah. Well, and like what I was talking about too is they straight razor the back of your neck, like down to your
back hair.
Yeah, down to your back hair. And like that part, you know, like if they sneeze while they're doing the back of your neck, it's like it's gonna suck, but like you're not gonna die, you know.
I'd like to think they would take the razor off your neck.
Yeah,
I don't know. Sometimes they sneak up on you, you know.
Sneaky motherfuckers. But am I wrong? Like, is that not one of the best like parts of the day?
It's relaxing, and you have to turn your phone off.
Yeah,
you know, or silence it and put it in your pocket. So that's nice.
Yeah.
The only thing that can ruin a barbershop experience is the barber not picking up on your vibes about like how social you want to be.
Yeah.
And it could go both ways, right? Like I've been in there and I'm excited to be there and I want to talk to the barber, and you know, they're just like, no, look forward, I'm going to cut your hair. And that sucks. But then on the flip side, I've also been in there and I'm like, look, everything sucks. I just need to chill and let you do your
shut
thing.
the fuck up.
Yeah. And they're like, so fucking how about this heat? You're like, dude, you're ruining it. Shut up.
Yeah. Have you ever just been like more politely just been like, please shut the fuck up? Like, I just not here for that.
No, I'm a one word answer kind of guy if I don't want to talk.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it sure is hot outside, huh? And I'm like, yep. Try like fewer syllables even, you know?
Yeah.
You don't want to say yes, sir. Like, nah. No. They might get the wrong impression. Yep. Maybe even just a grunt. Like, you know?
I think it's probably not ideal to like nod your head.
Especially if they got the razor in your neck.
Yeah.
But if you're too much of a dick, they might Sweeney Todd you.
They could, dude.
They get that Figment in their head.
Yeah. Yeah, it's probably best not to be a dick about it because they hold all of the power.
Yeah, you're like strapped into a chair and they've got a razor at your neck.
You have like a straitjacket on, you know? That's how I get my haircut.
It's a security straitjacket. It makes me feel safe.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Rooster.
Oh, it's a Gumbles.
Detective Magumbo.
So I was fucking around recently looking for a game to play, right?
Yeah.
As I'm prone to do. And a couple of things happened. The first was I found a game that unlocked a core memory of mine. I couldn't have told you that this game existed for the last, 20 years, probably.
Uh-huh.
But sure as shit, there it was on the store. And it was called Too Extreme.
I know exactly what you're talking about. And you know what's wild? Well, what I remember the most about that game is when you're riding the bike or whatever the fuck you're doing, because I think you can do like...
You can do bike riding, rollerblading, skateboarding, and snowboarding.
Okay. You remember the one where you like go through the bamboo panels and it makes like a crunching noise?
Vaguely.
So that crunching noise is like...
a figment of your psyche?
It's tattooed onto my Figment, yeah.
Damn. I remember bike riding in Africa, and you have to like dodge like water buffalo or something.
Yeah.
Or like wildebeest or something. But I like specifically remember is the level in Africa where you're riding bicycles.
Can't you kick?
I don't remember, to be honest.
I think you can kick.
Probably. That sounds right. I mean, I know you could in Road Rage, which was probably also back in that time, but I feel like you could because I think you were racing and you could like try to trip people up and shit.
I think you had to kick them a lot to like really fuck them up.
Yeah.
Usually just like bump them away from you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like you could fuck someone up eventually.
Yeah. But yeah, that like so it was a PlayStation 1 game. I probably last played that being a teenager for sure, probably before I was 10. So it's been a solid 20 years, I think.
Since you even thought about it.
Yeah.
That's what, dude, sometimes that nostalgia hits hard. I don't know how it came into my possession or became a thing again, but I acquired Sega Genesis, I don't know, probably fucking 10 years ago now. but I got all back into it, right? Like I went and got Vector Man, and dude, hearing that sound, it like takes me back to being a child, you know, like the.
Oh yeah.
What else? Like Crash Bandicoot was PlayStation.
I mean, even like
Streets of Rage.
Yeah.
Streets of Rage. There was another one that was like Ancient Beast or something, where you're like fighting people and then you can turn into a werewolf or something.
Mm-hmm. I mean, even like,
I think that's the part of it. That's a huge part of the nostalgia is like you don't really remember it, but then or Metal Slug, right? Mm-hmm. You don't really remember it, but then you play it and you're like, oh yeah, it like you said, it unlocks as you're playing it, and that's fun.
Even like on a core level that pretty much every single person can relate to, like the jump noise in Mario.
Yeah, for sure. But I feel like Mario is so prolific that
it's more like a mainstream version of it, yeah. And like we get reminded more of it more often. But like those games that are that, you know, age or that part of our history, and then you like completely forgot about it for 20 years, and then you see something and you're like, holy shit, dude.
Yeah, I remember broing down, and it sounds dumb now. It sounds lame, but I remember going hard and being competitive with the Volkswagen Beetle races. You remember those?
Yeah, a little bit.
There was a game that was just racing Volkswagen Beetles, and you could like it was almost like Mario Kart or something. Like you could go off the track and through a secret passage or something, and you get some kind of advantage, but it was really hard. You know?
Yeah. I remember a little bit about that. I mean, for me, the ones that stick out the most, it's games that probably not everybody relates to. You know what I mean? Like I'm sure there's other people that relate to them, but not as many that are like. Everybody's like, oh yeah, that one, you know?
Yeah.
Like Command & Conquer, probably one of them, you know?
Oh, I've played Command & Conquer with them.
Yeah. But like we were playing the same disc even, like on the same console, you know what I mean? So like outside of our little circle, like probably not.
It's more like a line.
Yeah. Outside of that line, a whole lot of people probably aren't like, oh yeah, Command & Conquer on PlayStation 1, you know?
Shake it, baby!
Yeah. But it
also,
is...
Command & Conquer soundtrack goes hard.
Yeah, dude. That is one of the craziest soundtracks ever.
Yeah, anybody listening, I'm sure you could find it on Spotify, right?
Yeah.
Look up the Command & Conquer
Hell March.
Hell March, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I know it's on YouTube for sure because I've looked that up within the last 2 years. But anyway, so the other thing that happened while I was trying to find another game to play, right, was I have an Xbox and I have a PlayStation. I was fucking around on the Xbox, and on PlayStation you can see like the star rating for a game, like how it was reviewed or whatever, you know? So like you can look and it'll be like 2.5 stars. All right, this game's shit. 4 stars. All right, this one's probably all right. On Xbox, they added in fucking reviews. Like you can type shit out. Dude, that is a fucking
rabbit hole.
Yeah, like it is wild.
It's a Figment.
It's a whole like I went in there thinking it would be kind of fucked up, you know, like obviously, like any place that has reviews, you're gonna have people that are like, you know, like meme reviews kind of. Dude, every single one of them, it's like, if you played Call of Duty on Xbox back in the day, and you remember the Call of Duty lobbies, it's like that, but in review form.
In text?
Yeah. It's fucking wild, dude. It's a whole rabbit hole that I had no idea. And I thought it was like one game, you know? Like, it was the one that I first looked at, the comments or whatever. It was like...
What was the game?
I couldn't even tell you. It was some bullshit game.
You got too lost in the
Yeah. It was some bullshit game, but like... Everybody was talking about the main character, but like in the most fucked up way possible, you know? And then I was like, all right, well, whatever. And then like I was just scrolling through other shit and I was like, I wonder if this is as crazy on like other shit. So I just like clicked on something random and it was like, oh yeah, this is still fucked up. So like after that, I was like, oh, now I'm going to go like look at the mainstream shit, you know? So I went to Fortnite and started reading the comments for the reviews on Fortnite. Holy shit, dude. It's a lawless place out there. It's fucking insane.
I kind of like that. There's not a whole lot of like Wild West areas of the internet anymore, you know?
Mm-hmm.
They've kind of all been tamed.
Yeah.
And when the internet first started happening, it wasn't even to like hurt people's feelings. It was just anonymity, right?
Yeah.
Like I can say whatever I want and nobody can do anything. So that was the goal, was to just like say
some crazy shit.
Yeah, the craziest thing you can think of. But now, I don't know, people are like, you know, cyberbullying and all that, and I'm still not totally convinced that cyberbullying, I probably should have. Like, dude, can you really hurt someone's feeling? One, can you hurt someone's feelings with words? Do you remember when you were a kid and you were like, sticks and stones, you know?
Yeah.
And then two, not like take it outside of the context of like someone calling you something fucked up in person.
Yeah.
And you're like, dude, that kind of hurt, even though it's just words.
Yeah.
Dude, it's a fucking troll on the internet. Like, who cares?
Yeah, but like also it has to do with like the integration of all of our fucking personal lives being on the internet, you know? So like
Yeah.
at this point it's gone beyond just like anonymously saying some crazy shit to another anonymous person. Now it's like saying some crazy shit to a person in front of everybody that they've ever met in their life and they friended on Facebook, you know?
Yeah, that's fucked up. We need a forum that's just for shit talking.
I think that exists.
But we're not going to advertise for them unless they pay us. Fuck them.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, go check it out. If you have an Xbox, check out the comments on any game, and it's worth like a time, you know, like pour a glass of whiskey or something, like set aside 30 minutes and just go scroll through comments on games on Xbox, and it's a good time.
Maybe even leave one.
Yeah.
Get in the scrap a little bit. It's like a mosh pit, you know?
Yeah.
You don't go too hard. You fuck yourself up. But
Yeah. We're old, dude. We can't hang with some of these younger kids.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy out there. You'll get called some shit you don't even know what it is. It's fucking
you're
wild.
looking shit up, and you're
Yeah.
like, oh, that hurts.
But speaking of nerd shit, dude, I went and saw Deadpool and Wolverine.
Okay. Yeah, Chris talked about it, I think, a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he talked about it on the show. I can't remember it or not, but we definitely talked about it a little bit. So, is it worth watching?
Yeah, for sure.
Totally watch it, like, on TV at home?
Yeah, you can watch it at home, but it's definitely worth watching. It's legit.
So I kind of wanted them to like the reason what's his name, Hugh Jackman.
Mm-hmm.
The reason he was so good at Wolverine was because he kind of made it a little bit darker and a little more real.
Yeah.
And it got even more so like
Mm-hmm.
like Logan. You know that was pretty.
Right.
That was like a drama more than a action almost.
Right.
But then you take that and you mix in Ryan Reynolds, which I actually do like Ryan Reynolds. He's not one of the people that I'm just like, fuck that.
Mhm.
He's not Kevin Hart or something.
Yeah.
But he can be like too much sometimes. you
Yeah,
know?
sure.
And he's also like, he's Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool.
Sure.
Like,
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
not, I don't know. And now Deadpool and Ryan Reynolds is almost like become synonymous.
Sure.
He's definitely made the character his own and like figmented himself onto the character. But he could take away from the levity of
Hugh
Logan,
Jackman.
Hugh Jackman. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was worried that wasn't going to work, that dynamic.
Yeah. No, I think they did a really good job of like keeping Wolverine serious and letting Deadpool make fun of that. You know what I mean?
Let me ask you this, because anyone that's not like super nerd into the MCU shit,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like is on the same boat as me.
Okay.
Didn't Wolverine already fight Deadpool, and literally wasn't it Ryan Reynolds?
I don't know if it was Ryan Reynolds. Yes, he did fight Deadpool.
But it was a weird, scary Deadpool.
Yeah. I don't think it was Ryan Reynolds. The only other superhero that I know Ryan Reynolds has been is
Green Lantern.
Green Lantern. Yeah. Which even, I think it was Deadpool 2 that he like makes a joke about that, where he's like going through time, fixing all the timelines. And he goes back to before he signed the contract for Green Lantern and kills himself. Like Deadpool kills Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
But I don't think it was Ryan Reynolds, but he did fight another Deadpool, and it was like a scary, fucked up Deadpool. Not,
Yeah, like his mouth is sewn shut or something.
yeah.
And, okay, so isn't Wolverine and Deadpool's superpower the exact same?
Yes.
That's weird that they took such, like, separate paths. Two paths diverged in yellow wood.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, for sure. Well, and so like it's always been kind of one of the running jokes in Deadpool is like Logan or Wolverine, whatever, Hugh Jackman's character has always been like the hero, you know? Like he's the X-Man, he's the hero, he's the good guy, you know? And then like all the time in Deadpool's movies, they'll be like, "Oh, Wolverine did that." And he's fucking God damn it.
Okay, so explain to the non-MCU nerds, why hasn't Deadpool and Wolverine been a thing?
So I'm not an MCU nerd. I actually fucking hate the MCU for the most part. But I do know that the reason that they haven't done it in the past, and the reason that Deadpool has kind of been dissociated from the X-Men for a while, was because Fox owned the rights to X-Men, whereas Deadpool was still made by whatever, like Marvel fucking Studios or whatever. Different studios. But Marvel and Disney are the same, and then Disney bought Fox, so now it's all under one fucking roof again, and they can kind of merge everything.
That's why you had weird, like, yeah, they're totally X-Men characters, but, like, the B team of X-Men characters with Deadpool.
Until last movie. In last movie, they brought some of them, but they didn't have Logan in it yet. But they had Colossus, and they had...
yeah, but why wasn't Deadpool fighting Apocalypse or whatever and Super Mutant Bro Down?
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
I don't know. I'm not an MCU nerd at all. Like I said,
is Apocalypse even the right guy?
I don't know.
The one that Thor and Iron Man
fought? No. Thanos.
Thanos, yeah.
Yeah.
Why wasn't Deadpool, mixing it up in there?
So, I don't know. There's probably something about that still with like the rights to each one or whatever. But they did kind of merge that into this one a little bit, where he's like, Deadpool, like it's not even a spoiler, but he's like talking to it's like a like how he got to where he was kind of thing, and it's him, and he goes to the office of what are they called? The Avengers.
Yeah, that's what it is, the Avengers.
He goes to the Avengers.
I couldn't even remember the name.
He goes to the Avengers office, and he's like, I want to be an Avenger. And they're like, suck, nerd. He's like, fuck. All right.
Yeah, I don't really care about it that much. And honestly, like, what, are we going to get Frodo in there fighting fucking Apocalypse 2 now?
Who knows?
I
don't care even a little bit about the MCU or anywhere that it's been or is going outside of... I've seen like maybe 3 movies that are considered inside the MCU, and it was like Iron Man 1.
Iron Man 1 was pretty good.
Yeah. And I've seen like a couple of... like I think I saw Doctor Strange.
Oh, the what's the one with the raccoon?
Guardians of the Galaxy.
And I was like, well, I don't even know who these guys are. This movie's going to suck. And it turns out it's the best fucking Marvel movie that they made. Was the original Guardians of the Galaxy.
So I watched Guardians of the Galaxy 1. I watched Doctor Strange, and I've watched Iron Man 1.
I think I watched Doctor Strange, and it's forgettable.
Yeah. But that's the extent of my deep dive into the MCU. I think there's like 27 movies and like 10 TV shows. I'm like 3
Who's got the time?
movies deep. I don't know.
I'm going to have to hire someone to watch them all for me.
It was funny you said Ryan Reynolds can kind of be a lot, but he's not too much like Kevin Hart. Because one of the other things I want to talk about was the Borderlands movie, which is out now. And it's one of the biggest cinema flops in history. It made like, I think the budget was something around like 150 million. And I think globally it made like less than 15 million on opening weekend. I think it made like 7 million domestically.
Why the hate?
It's garbage.
I like Borderlands, the game.
Oh yeah, I love Borderlands. It's one of my favorite series of all time. I have a fucking Borderlands tattoo. But so the casting, first of all, was just absolutely dog shit, right? They casted Kevin Hart as Roland, who's like this serious fucking dude that's supposed to be the leader, right? And they casted Kevin Hart in that role.
Which Kevin Hart has never played any character except for Kevin Hart.
Yeah. And then Lilith, who like is supposed to be kind of the central character of the story. In the game, she's like 22, 23, and they casted a 60-year-old woman to play her. And granted, said 60-year-old woman is hot. She looks a lot younger than fucking 60, but she doesn't look 20, right? So she just like didn't really fit. The only people that kind of made sense to me were they cast Jamie Lee Curtis to play the old like bad shit insane scientist lady. And I think she could have pulled that off, like if her script was right, and then they casted Jack Black as Claptrap. Now, in theory, that sounds like it, like on paper, that could be a good thing, right? Like it's not the worst casting decision. Also, Claptrap's animated, and there was somebody that voiced Claptrap in like 4 or 5 games now,
Like
that is the voice of Claptrap. Yeah. So like they could have just gone that route, and it would have made a lot more fucking sense. And like you could even make Jack Black another character, like if you want him, But like Claptrap has a very unique voice that's intentionally like grating and annoying to be like, because that's the character, And Jack Black's not that. Like he's funny and would joke like in the same way that Claptrap does, but
it feels like maybe the studio was like, all right, look, in order for this to be a hit, we have to cast Kevin Hart and Cate Blanchett and Jack Black.
Yeah.
And can we throw in The Rock in there?
Yeah.
And they were like, no, we don't have the budget. All right, well, we'll forgo The Rock then. But and I feel like someone that if you gave that job of creating that movie to a director that loved the games and was like a passion project, you would probably get something pretty amazing, especially if they had talent to back it up and funding that they obviously had.
Yeah.
But they didn't. They gave it to a studio that was like, hey, make a fucking box office like mega thing.
Well, and that was like one of the things.
Figmint.
Well, that was one of the things people were talking about is like somebody who was a like diehard fan of the series, you could give them the amount that they made on opening weekend, which was a critical failure, that like 8 million or whatever they made at box office weekend. You could give that to a fan and they'd make a better movie, you know?
Have you seen it though?
No.
So you don't know if it's a bad movie.
No. Yeah. I'll give it to you. I don't, but like I've seen enough in the like just the like previews for it to be like, wow, that's dog shit. They should have not done that.
But is it just the symptom of like the fans being upset about the casting, or is it legit a bad movie? Okay, like I remember going into The Last Airbender that M. Night Shyamalan made,
Yeah.
and being like, it might not be bad. It's just people don't understand the world, right? Because they're like being introduced to it.
Sure.
And then I watched it and I was like, oh no, this is bad. This is dog shit.
Right.
And then they make the show or whatever, and it's a hit because
They didn't.
they stuck to the source material. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that actually is a testament to it's probably bad, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's probably bad. So
It's not an argument. I'm just
here's
building
the
a case.
Here's the thing, right? Borderlands has a very unique first of all, it has a unique art style, right? So you're taking away from the franchise just by not having it be that way, right? Because that's part of what made it what it is, right? And it had cell shaded art. But you could get rid of that and still be successful. So, but that's still like noteworthy. This is kind of a big part of what made the game. But more so, like they have a very distinct style of comedy where it's like it runs on the edge of like stupid fart joke, childish bullshit, you know? But like still keeps it mature enough that it doesn't feel like it's geared towards a child, you know?
Sophomoric.
Yeah. Like if you haven't played the game's been out for like more than 10 years at this point. So if you haven't played it, suck a dick. Yeah. But like in the second game, the main character, the main villain, Handsome Jack, at the very beginning of the game, you're running around and he has a horse made out of crystal that he names Butt Stallion. And it's like, it's a stupid fucking joke, right? Like it's not even like good, like, you know what I mean? Like that's not a joke that a great comic mind came up with. But it's still like...
It is funny, though.
Yeah, it's still funny, and it's interjected in the right places and in the right doses to still be like, you know, like the game is bullet hell, right? Like you're shooting nonstop forever. Like you don't stop pulling the trigger. And they interject these little like stupid fucking jokes at you to kind of like break that up and make this comedic relief to what is just spray bullets everywhere forever. And...
Which, you throw Kevin Hart and Jack Black in there and you might be able to have that same effect in theory, on paper.
Yeah,
right?
In theory. But it's kind of what you were talking about. Like they take it too far. And, you know, as compared to the flip side with like even if you haven't seen the new one, right? The previous Deadpool movies, like he can make stupid jokes because like the story's still pretty good. The theme of the movie still gets across. He just sprinkles in some stupid ass shit occasionally that makes you laugh, you know? But I think they went too hard on like, hey, here's fart jokes and then I think I
kind of want to watch it.
I kind of want to out of curiosity, but I'm not going to until they earn no money from me in any way, shape, or form. But the other side of it too that I think that they probably fucked up is I think they probably went like, we need to make this generic action movie. We needed Fast and Furious 12 Borderlands edition, you know?
Ugh, yeah.
And I think that's probably why it's as dog shit as it is. Like they probably didn't write a story around the actual like Borderlands universe. They wrote a story around how can we action orient and then take the universe and just stick our fucking action story into their cars and their monsters, you know?
Well, I hope it's good.
Yeah. The best that I can hope for at this point is like you were talking about, like a Avatar redemption arc where they're like, holy shit, this is awful. And then somebody is like, dog, this can be really good if you don't
fuck it up.
Don't fuck it up, you know? So I guess we'll see. But I'm pretty confident in saying that ain't it. I think that was a pretty solid swing and a miss.
They should have got, was it George Miller that did Mad Max? Is that right?
Yeah.
They should have got him to do it. He could have totally pulled off a Borderlands.
Yeah.
Like vibe.
Sure. And yeah.
It's going to be a little goofier than Mad Max.
Yeah.
But it's still it's the same like high octane and.
But like that's kind of what Borderlands was, right? Like they kind of took the idea of Mad Max, like it's a post-apocalyptic desert kind of wasteland, and then they're like, here's a bunch of guns and monsters and fart jokes.
Which is a perfect formula. Like, it's an excellent recipe.
Yeah.
How do you fuck that up? You put Kevin Hart in it.
Yeah. So that's a bummer.
Speaking of recipes and your culinary prowess.
No, dude. No. Now people are going to think that my fucking gumbo has mayonnaise in it. Damn it.
You came at me with some weird shit, and I want you to tell the audience your epiphany.
All right.
How you're expanding the horizons of ramen.
So I was living my best life doing work in Detroit, and I've started doing this, like going to get groceries when I show up to wherever I'm staying instead of like ordering Uber Eats every fucking day. And
because while groceries are expensive, Uber Eats every day is more expensive.
Yeah, for sure. So I'll do shit like I'll get sandwich stuff, I'll get ramen, I'll get Pop-Tarts, I'll get shit that's kind of non-perishable that I can keep in my hotel room, and then I'll make food every day. Or not make food, but, you know.
Have food.
And so anyway, I did just that while I was in Detroit. I had sandwich stuff, I had ramen noodles, I had Pop-Tarts, I had donuts, I had just my normal array of shit. And I got tired of eating my ramen noodles. So I went online and looked for ways that you can...
Did you look on the Xbox review forums for recipes for ramen?
Yeah. Speaking of which, that was one of the things that consistently popped up on there. It was not ramen noodle recipes, but recipes for other shit. Anyway, so I was looking for ways to do something different with ramen, and one of the things that's pretty common is to throw egg or egg white or something like that in there. And one of the things that they say if you don't have eggs that you can throw in there is mayonnaise.
Same thing, right?
Yeah. I don't know. No, not exactly the same. No. So I put some mayonnaise in my ramen noodles.
In Detroit.
And I had the saddest dinner that anyone's ever had. So this is what I'll go to. It wasn't bad taste-wise. It was better probably than it was.
Yeah, but then that hurts your soul even more because you're like, oh, I'm that piece of shit. Mm-hmm. That I like this. I like mayonnaise in my ramen.
Yeah. It was probably better.
You have to reconcile that.
It was probably better than like without the mayonnaise. I'll even take it that far. It was probably better. It was probably an upgrade. The downside is you have to weigh that against your conscience while you're squirting mayonnaise into your bowl of ramen. And that's a pretty hard hill to climb. I'm not going to lie. It's a steep one.
Wait, I thought mayonnaise is perishable.
Yeah, I have a mini fridge.
Okay.
When I said not perishable, I meant like...
You're not using like mayonnaise packets.
No. That would be worse, arguably. I don't know.
What if I don't have mayonnaise? Can I just use like sandwich spread or Miracle Whip or something?
Yeah, of course. That would probably be... Do you think it'd be worse to have packets or to actually pull out a full-ass fucking mayonnaise container?
Like a jar?
And like, ooh, jar would probably be worse, yeah.
You get the glop,
Squirting it in was pretty bad. Out of like, you know, like the squeeze mayonnaise bottle. Mm-hmm. That was pretty gnarly. But I think like spooning some in from a jar would be worse.
You just have a clump of mayonnaise in there?
Do you think packets, spooning it in, or squirting it in? What's the worst route that you could go?
I mean, squirting mayonnaise out of a squirt container is pretty unholy. Like that's a new
degenerate shit for sure.
And squirting it into ramen. But I mean, like a mayonnaise packet, I don't know. You already know that's fucked up, right?
At that point, it's a spread, I feel like. And you could probably get away with it more or justify it more.
Yeah, throw some Cheetos in there.
Yeah.
some Jack Links.
I think you could justify that being a spread, and it would be more palatable on the conscience than squirting or glopping mayonnaise.
A jar of mayonnaise with a spoon.
Yeah.
And it has to be a fresh jar, too, so you get the, like...
Yeah. It was a...
but all you have is chopsticks. Like Panda Express chopsticks, you know? Yeah, and you gotta glop the mayonnaise out with the chopsticks. And then lick the mayonnaise off the chopstick.
Yeah.
There you go. Nailed it. It's an excellent recipe. I'm glad you shared.
Look, again, I'll justify it as far as it probably was
tastier. What about mustard?
I don't know. I didn't try it.
Put some mustard on it. You eat the fucking shit.
Maybe next time. I had mustard even. I could have, but I didn't. I want mayonnaise. Now, look, the idea for the mayonnaise is it's supposed to make it like a little bit thicker, a little creamier, and a little bit more mayonnaise-y.
Mayonnaise-ier?
Yeah. And it does do that.
I'm not going to lie, that sounds horrible. I want to try that too. We can have mayonnaise ramen and watch Borderlands.
When you do that, justify it as a spread and get you some Flamin' Hot Cheetos
Obviously.
a bag full, and then pop the bag open, but then like squeeze it tight and smash that shit up, make Cheeto dust.
So it turns into like a paste? Dude, okay, so I've been like hiking on a trail or whatever, and I'm camping out as we go.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the best shit I did, the Knorr noodles?
Mm-hmm.
This is like the cheapest packet of noodles you can buy.
Yeah.
I had one of those. I think it was like garlic parmesan noodles or something like that.
Uh-huh.
And so like obvious, right? You just mix water, boiled water. That's why it's a good food for that. And it's carbs, so like you get the energy and that kind of shit. Well, aside from that, I had like it was a mashed potato powder, or no, it was a potato soup powder, but it had like cheddar and bacon and chive dust in it, powder in it also. Mm-hmm. So it was like a baked potato soup.
So that's what I need to mix with my ramen.
Bro, I poured that into the Knorr noodles. It was so good. And maybe it was because I'd like been hiking all day.
Yeah. Probably
Probably had a lot to do with it.
Sure.
But I mean, it worked. And when you have limited options and only powdered food,
yeah,
it did the trick.
I'll say that. So I went hiking with you a separate time, and we had a buffet of sorts, or we had like some beef stroganoff.
Oh yeah. Oh, those were they make like hiking and camping meals.
They're like dehydrated.
Yeah.
So we had like some beef stroganoff, we had some chili mac, and we had 2 chili macs and a beef stroganoff. And that was kind of fucked up, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Yeah.
That probably needed some mayonnaise.
Yeah, you can never
and we accidentally watered one of them too much. And it turned into like a chili mac soup.
Which isn't that bad.
No.
But you can never completely reanimate after something's been dehydrated.
No.
Like, there's a point of no return in the dehydration process.
Mm-hmm.
And those were that.
Yeah.
Remember we had biscuits and gravy, but it was like biscuit croutons?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They were crunchy.
Mm-hmm. We also had some, well, I don't think you did, but I had some banana pudding. And that was pretty gnarly. It's not, I don't know. It works for what it is, right? Like, it's survival food. It's like, I don't have any other shit that I can cook out here, so I'm going to cook this. Like, air quotes, cook it.
Pour boiling water in it.
I'm going to rehydrate this and then eat it.
Maybe we just needed to let it soak longer.
Maybe we need to just not add the water and just be like, fuck it, dude, it's dehydrated.
That could be bad.
Yeah. So can fucking chili mac soup, though.
Yeah, what if it just soaked up all the, like, liquid in your stomach and you dried up from the inside?
Oh, yeah, that's horrifying. That's some shit that I never wanted to think
that you'll read in an Xbox review forum.
Yeah. Damn, dude. Well, guess all my food from now on will be extra rehydrated.
All right. Do we want to talk about music? You found anything new?
Yeah, dude. So I've been fucking around with AI music a little bit, and when I say I've been fucking around, I've been listening to some of it.
I don't know what that means.
So it's music. People are writing lyrics with AI, and then they're using another AI program to like create the song,
Okay.
And so most of the stuff that I've heard, it's parody,
How do people use AI?
What do you mean?
Well, like how do I harness the power of AI to do whatever the fuck I'm trying to do?
I mean, if it's anything text-based, then ChatGPT.
So you could do like poetry and be like,
yeah.
Right? Okay.
Yeah, ChatGPT. That's your answer. So people will go on ChatGPT, be like, write me a country song about this, like give it a couple topics, and then it'll write a song out. And then people are taking that and plugging it into a different AI program that's like, they can set a few parameters, like the sound the style that they want, and like BPM or something, and then, it makes a song around it. So they've been doing that. Most of the stuff that I've seen is parody, right? So there's one in particular that I really like. One group or one person that's producing this AI thing. And it's all parody stuff, but they have songs, bangers, dude, that are like, I glued my balls to my butthole again. Or they have another one that's, rubbing and tugging my nips, which is my personal favorite. Or other classics like, you look like you could use a fucking lamp.
I haven't seen or heard any of these like on MTV or on the radio or anything.
Which is a shame, really, because it's better than most of what we hear on there. But anyway, most of what I've heard is parody, right? Like, it's people that are like, here's some dicks and buttholes and music, and then they get AI to sing it, But I actually came across one recently that was passable pop country. Now, I'm not a fan of pop country, but it was Like you could tell me that this was playing on a top 40 fucking station, and it was like number 3 on the country charts right now, and I'd be like, yeah, that tracks, you know.
So how long is it until we have actual AI music that is on the top 40?
That's the thing. How long is it going to take for it to be passable as the artist, right? Because that's the thing, right? Like when people know it's AI, they're like, oh, whatever, you know, like they're like, oh, I'm listening to AI. How long is it until somebody's like, oh, check out this artist, and they have a face to them, and like you can see them, and they're touring, and but everything they do is AI. All the songs were written by AI.
Okay, here's my next thought. The way my brain works,
their fucking Twitter channels run by AI.
As a network or as a label, a music label, it would make more sense to finance something like that, where you could have a team of people that don't own any of it, right? Mm-hmm. It's just their job to produce it, and you fire and hire them as you see fit.
Sure.
You pay them a lot less, and you own all the rights in perpetuity.
Yeah. So how long?
And that's fucked up. But like,
how long is it going to be before we get fucking what's the big label, the main one?
I don't know which one.
It's like Jimmy Iovine.
Oh, I don't know
that. Anyway, the big label.
I don't really know that.
That's like all of the top 40. Anyway, how long until they're just like, hey, check out this new artist, and start pumping somebody up, and it's an AI thing. Interscope.
That's not a world I want to live in. I don't want to live on this planet anymore, dude. We're getting closer and closer to like a movie, you know?
Yeah. Or it's Kevin Hart.
It's all Kevin Hart.
Damn.
What if Kevin Hart is AI, and that's the uncanny valley that I have with Kevin Hart? It's like, the fuck? He's like a person, but not. He's just Kevin Hart.
Could be. I don't know. It kind of got my head fucked up when I heard that one, because I didn't know it was AI the first time, like that somebody showed it to me, and I was like, yeah, this is generic fucking pop country bullshit, you know? So it could be on the way.
I wonder why they're shitting on country so much, because every AI song I've heard has been country.
Nah, all the ones that I was talking about that are like parody, those are all like old school big jazz band kind of things.
And I'm not trying to defend country music. I'm just, I feel like hip hop might be right for for an AI parody, you know?
Probably, yeah. Yeah, I mean, probably either. I feel like the hardest one to AI would probably be like some sort of rock.
And definitely not like 80s rock, because you could totally get like Sweet Cherry Pie. Dude, AI could write that.
Yeah, for sure. And it could probably write a fucking nasty guitar solo. I bet. I'm just guessing here. I don't know. But I feel like it could. But it had my head all fucked up, and I haven't been able to like listen to things the same now.
Oh, you're skeptical about everything now?
Mm-hmm. And it does make me think conspiracy theory that I think is very realistic. I think that there's probably a good amount of top 40 people who are writing lyrics with AI.
I can see that.
Even if they're still performing.
No, I could buy into that for sure. Like, imagine these Neanderthals back in the day, like writing poetry and then putting music to it, you know?
Yeah. And now Taylor Swift's like, ChatGPT, I need a song, another breakup song. And they're like, all right, word.
I don't know. Maybe you write 2 or 3, but instead of like that's it. That's all you got. You're a fucking one-hit wonder. Congratulations. And then they're like, no, there were 2 other songs in that album that were good. And it's like, all right, write me a song that sounds like these 3 songs that I did. Mm-hmm. And now I'm going to tour the rest of my life.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's
I went and saw Third Eye Blind recently. Mm-hmm. And his big thing was I wanted to release some of my new music on this tour, but I haven't finished the lyrics yet. So we're just going to play the old shit. Which, of course, everyone to thunderous applause, right?
Right.
But, dude, he totally could have just ChatGPT'd that and put music to it.
Oh, yeah. Easily. So, while we're getting ready to kind of wrap this up and talking about things that fuck my head up, I was talking about how I was in Detroit living my best life, you know? And I got all fucked up because when I was driving in from the airport to the hotel, I was looking out the window and I was like, that's Canadian flag. That's kind of weird, but all right. And then I realized that the river that I was looking at, like the flag was on the opposite side and it was just a much bigger flag than I thought, like as I came around the corner. And I was like, oh, that's on the other side of the river. And then my brain was like, oh shit, that's Canada. Fuck. And like my fucking public schools failed me or something, you know? Because I was like, Detroit's not next to Canada. Detroit like sucks. It's in Nebraska or something, you know? And no, it turns out Canada's right there. Now, what really fucked me up is I was staying in my hotel. It was like on the river, right? And when I pulled up the map to be like, is that actually Canada? Like, am I fucked up? Canada was south across the river.
Holy shit. I'm looking at a map right now because I was like, this isn't right.
Yeah. So I was saying north of Canada, and if I look straight south across the river, I was looking at Canada south of me.
Oh.
And it had my brain completely upside down for the entire week that I was there.
I'm from the South, eh?
That was awful. Holy shit, dude.
That's, the Canadian accent? I said eh.
Yeah, that's a start. So, yeah.
All right, give me your Canadian accent.
I can't do one, but I know better. No, so there's parts of America where you can wake up in the morning and look straight fucking south and be looking at Canada. And there's parts of Canada that they wake up and look north. And
where you're surrounded by Detroit.
Yeah.
Holy shit, we're surrounded.
Yeah. That is a bummer. It sucks for that part of Canada.
Dude, can we talk about Alaska a little bit since we're doing geography shit? Like, what the fuck is going on over there? Why are we still allowed to call Alaska ours?
I'm not really sure, to be honest.
It doesn't make any sense at all.
No, it's definitely like up towards Canada and Russia. Like, I feel like Canada and Russia should have just like walked over there and been like, this is ours now. Because I'm pretty sure there's only like 10,000 Alaskans that can be like, fuck off, this is Alaska.
Wow. No, there's an entire country between us and Alaska.
Yeah. Like the whole thing.
And it's closer to a different country that's not even that country.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's closer to a couple of countries that direction.
Dude, I'm looking at it. I'm fucking Mongolia is pretty close. Fucking, comparatively speaking.
How is
like latitude?
Like, is Japan closer?
Dude, Japan is north. Japan's like on the same line as like Northern California.
Yeah, but Alaska goes way the fuck west though.
Right. So like as a crow flies, it's, I don't know, probably a little bit further to Japan than to California, but I don't know. Geographically speaking, it's definitely Russia, a lot closer to Russia.
And there's a lot more nothing in between Japan and Alaska than there is other motherfuckers that could be claiming Alaska.
Huh. We need to just annex Canada.
No. No.
Is there... I read some statistic, and I could be completely making this up, but I read some statistic that was like most of the people that live in Canada live like below this line.
Yeah.
And like nobody lives above that. All of Alaska is above that.
Yeah.
The whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
So like when you watch the crazy survival shows and they're like, no, we're going to the less shittier part of Alaska. It's still more shitty than where all the people in Canada live.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
so
for
they're
sure.
like, nah, fuck that, eh?
Yeah. It fucking sucks up there, dude. Yeah, what drives a person to be like, that's my thing. I'm going to live in fucking Alaska.
There's
nobody.
There's no AI.
Yeah.
They don't have that in Alaska.
There's also no heat or like other people or like stores or food or...
They got trees and rocks.
Yeah.
It's outside the environment. There's nothing out there but rocks and trees and animals and fish.
And like 10,000 Alaskans.
10,000 Alaskans.
In a state the size of the country.
What does Alaska export? Well, like, how do they... see what I mean? Like, how does that even exist?
I don't think they export or import anything. I think they are just doing their Alaska shit.
They just persevere.
Yeah.
Like, it's a struggle fucking every day.
Dude, I guess there is probably some merit to that. Like, there probably is some, like, mental relief and just like, look, I'm just going to fucking survive out here. Not worry about all that bullshit that's going on over there.
Civilization.
Yeah.
You know, culture.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have to worry about any of that shit.
That's a lot of bullshit. Get rid of that shit, and I'm gonna fucking live out here with the sticks and the rocks. And maybe the occasional Russian.
Dude, yeah. Russians could fucking canoe over there.
I'm almost 100% positive that some drunk Russian has ended up in Alaska before. I would be willing to bet money on that.
Probably swam.
Yeah. Or like rode a bear there or something. They do that in Russia,
Or
right?
a U-boat. I don't know.
Yeah.
Nobody knows what that is. All right, guys. Whiskey and Whiskers website is up. whiskeyandwhiskerspodcast.com. whiskeyandwhiskerspodcast.com. Support the show. Donate to our Patreon. New episodes every Monday. New content all the time. See you next week.
Figmints all the time.